as women in this industry. What have you, if at all, like what have you had to do to kind of like prove yourself? Have you noticed any type of double standard situations or anything like that? What has there been any kind of time that you've been I'm trying to get my notes together here too. You can see this is a day for me. Um, any kind of um, point in time where someone has said, and then you had to prove yourself through your talents or what in any of those type of situations?
I don't know if it's necessarily that I'm a woman, but I definitely think that there's sort of like okay, she's a woman, but then she's also a blind woman. Like so
Yes.
when my friend and I we went to produce our last track that we made that I just released. And we did the vocals at a studio because I just wasn't equipped. I didn't have the stuff set up for two microphones and two vocalists and things like that. So I booked time at a local place and we met an engineer and we did it that way. And we talked on the phone, like he knew I was a woman. But when I got there,
Mm-hmm.
there was definitely like a very noticeable shift. Like like I don't know, like he didn't know what you could definitely tell that not was it that we were women that he was kind of baffled by, but the fact that we were blind women, he was just like, I don't know what to make of these people. Like, is their music going to be good? Is their vocals
Y'all
going
were
to be good?
aliens. Y'all were
Like,
aliens.
I don't really
Yeah.
know how I'm going to feel about like producing these women. And then we got in and we started working, and then like the vibe just completely shifted. You're just like, oh my god, yeah, like this is amazing. You guys are the best. Like, I haven't worked with anybody like you like ever before, and this is an amazing experience. But definitely, like we had a double negative. I feel like it was like, okay, well they're women,
And,
they're blind
and they
women.
blind. Yeah. Man. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. God. Denise or Sultana?
I completely agree on that, Ashley. In fact, I remember when I had this accident. I remember that one of the things somebody told me was like, "Oh, you should get paid really well because from now on, it's not only that you cannot play your instrument, it's the fact that you don't look the same." And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Are you telling me that I am an arm? It was like,
Yeah. That's about your value. Yeah.
yeah, where is the self? Is it in the arm? Is it in the head? Or, and that's probably, but like Ashley said, once you have your work done or something, sometimes the reaction is completely, like, oh, wow. I didn't know that you were able to, or they tell, well, I could send you the song, but I don't think you could record the vocals. It's that type of stuff, but not exactly for being a woman. A woman is the fact of being a blind woman.
Yeah. Yeah, I
What
have to
about you,
agree.
Sultana? Yeah.
I think I was born blind, and I think that expectations for blind people are low in general. But I would
Yeah.
argue that they are even lower for women, right? Because even in a sighted world, expectations are different for women.
Yeah.
So yeah, I find myself blind first and female second, unless I'm in a room full of blind people, and then then it connects. And where I would talk about that is, like if you're involved in any of the WhatsApp groups, they are they're
Yes.
predominantly
They're
male,
male,
right?
yes.
So all these blind people, but they're predominantly male blind people, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's when I noticed, oh yeah, okay, I'm a female in this. I grew up living in Southern California, so living near enough to LA, Los Angeles. And even in that space, as a child musician, I still experienced feeling like when you went to the music stores to, look at new equipment or whatever, the women hanging around those places were hanging around because They wanted to hang out with the musician guys, musicians themselves. I didn't grow up with a lot of female musical collaborators. These days, because I'm at home and behind the mic in my own booth in my own space, unless you Google me, I don't directly hide it, but unless you Google me, you're not going to know that I can't see, because I don't, say it out loud. And I fight with myself over this. Every time I see an audition for a company that's doing something related to the ADA or accessibility or some kind of disability organization, all those disability organizations that claim that they are for people who are blind or whatever, but that don't necessarily hire.
Exactly.
Yeah. So then I feel like, God, do I say it? Do I say, you should hire a voice artist with a disability? Because, your job description doesn't say anything about it. And I have pretty strong feelings about those things. But most people don't know because there's no reason for them to know. I have had occasions where somebody has Googled me, and in talking to them, they've said, "Hey, listen, we're going to send you a script. We Googled you. We see that you're blind. How can we send you a script that's the most helpful for you?"
Oh, man.
And it's rare. It's really rare, but it has happened.
Wow.
In terms of proving myself, though, I think that the higher you go in this industry, the more you level up, the more you kind of do have to prove. I had some really great opportunities to be on stage reading voiceover copy with a Braille display at a voiceover conference, which was really, really fun. And just exciting for me because just sort of a way to show a larger group of people how it's done.
Yes.
Because, people want to pigeonhole you. I've had people tell me, "Oh, you should just do animation," or, "Oh, you're set up to do audiobooks because, they could print them out in Braille and you could read them." I'm just like, well, clearly you don't know the technology. I'm just going to print it for me, because they have no understanding, but they think that they do. This is kind of funny. I got to actually be voice of Goddess for a voiceover conference in 2017, which was really fun. So I was announcing the, presenters that were coming up, sort of like at the Oscars, how they announce who's going to come up next on stage.
Yes.
And that was really fun. And because it was a voiceover conference, generally the voice of Goddess, voice of God announcers they're a disembodied voice, right? So they're hidden away. You don't see them. But because this was a voiceover conference, they had me in a spot where everybody could see me. So they could see, so here I am. I got.
Did you have reverb on you? A lot of reverb?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
That usually comes with the voice of God when when you're watching TV or something, movies or something.
Yeah, sometimes it does. It's less so. I mean, a voice of God is a whole nother niche in voiceover, right? There's a lot of conferences. There's a lot of award ceremonies. With this pandemic, there have been a number of graduation ceremonies where they have wanted voiceover to read all of the names and all the stuff related to that.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, to answer your question, it does come up, and there are cases where I do point it out to clients. I'll be on the phone and they'll be like, "Oh, let me send you the video or the storyboard and do you see the blah 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 blah?" And I'm just like,
no.
How about we not do this right now? So yeah.
Well,